In this series of videos, we'll be covering the changes and modifications and enhancements to version 6.2 being released in May of 2018. As you can see, we've added a number of new features, but the primary focus of version 6.2 is to update the layout capability in the Room tab. We've completely redesigned it to create a larger layout area for drawing the rooms. We've also reorganized all of the quick layout tabs from the bottom of the screen to a new left-hand sidebar. This gives each tab a more uniform look and feel. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Room tab update. So at the Room tab, there's a few things you'll notice immediately. The layout options at the bottom of the screen have been relocated to a new sidebar. The various tabs are now located here on a header. When you first start a new room, you only have two options. That's to set the room properties, decide how you're going to draw the room, or to actually draw walls. The room name is editable, and type in a new name. The quick room options that you're accustomed to seeing on the left-hand toolbar are still available to you. Simply click Quick Room option if you want to use that to design your job. We've added a new function which allows you to import laser drawings. You can also set all of your room properties, or we can simply draw walls. Notice that the design area has been enlarged. That was one of the primary reasons for the rewrite, was to increase the layout area. A new drawing preference has been added that affects this area as well. If we click View Drawings, you'll notice that you have a minimum layout window size that you can enter here. So if you typically design rooms that are 15 or 16 feet wide, whatever, you can designate a size here. Now let's go ahead and draw some walls and look at some of the new capabilities. You can still type in the length using decimal or fraction. As you begin to join walls, you'll notice the little nodes in the corner of each wall. To escape out of the drawing mode, simply right-click your mouse or press the escape key. Once you've completed your walls, the drawing will resize automatically. That's the same as using your mouse wheel to zoom in and out and then pressing the zoom extents. We can come back and add walls at any place in the design. So if I want to come back and add a wall, I can click Draw Walls. Just get close to this wall, click, and Mozaik will ask if we want to connect it. We'll say yes, and that will create an interior wall. Now I can select this wall and move it, and the product space to the left or the right of wall 2 will change automatically. I can also click on this wall and designate that it has a back space. So now I can add products to the face of the wall as well as the back face of the wall, and you'll also notice it's created a corner here. If we slip over to the Products tab and have a look at wall 2 in elevation, I can see that it's broken by wall 3, but if I change the height of wall 3, so let's click on wall 3, change its height to say 48 inches, and now click on wall 2 and go back to elevation view. Now I can see that I can have a continuous run of upper cabinets above the peninsula that can have cabinets on either side. So back to the room view. Now let's click back on wall 3. Since this wall is not connected on the right side, I can actually specify that the right side of this wall has cabinet space as well. So I can now place cabinets on the end of the run. So if we go to the Products tab and we'll autofill, now you can see how the cabinets come together. As the wall moves, cabinets will move with it. You'll also notice that I have a corner situation here, so we could place corner cabinets there if we like. We can come back at any point in time and connect walls to any other wall or draw them anywhere within the room. So if I go back to the Draw Wall mode, I can come here, connect off that wall, draw this direction. You'll also notice that if two walls are close to intersecting, Mozaik will go ahead and make a joint for you. And now this is a fully enclosed room. As you can see, every corner can have corner cabinets placed into it. We can also come back and add a wall here, and we'll attach that wall to the back face. As you're drawing, you can zoom out with the mouse wheel. You can draw angled walls. If I take wall 5 and designate it as having a back face, you'll notice it creates an angle for that. Let's stretch wall 6 out a bit. If I take wall 6, designate it as a back face, you have the ability to put cabinets there. I will caution you, Mozaik is a room-based software system. So if you try to do entire house plans or multiple rooms within one layout, then you're going to run into complications when it comes to the way your cutting lists are numbered, the way your cabinets are numbered, and so forth. We still strongly encourage room-based design, although now you can pretty much design any room imaginable. So let's clean this design up a little bit and look at some of the other features and the way the walls interact. If I would like to delete wall 7, I can simply click on it, click the delete button, verify it. Delete wall 6, press the delete button, verify it. And I'll take wall 5 and remove the cabinet space from the back of the wall. Now, since all 4 of these walls are connected, watch what happens if I stretch wall 4. It's going to change the length of the adjacent wall. If these walls happen to be different lengths in the field, then you'll need to disconnect and change that manually. By simply right-clicking on the wall, I can disconnect from either corner. So if I want to disconnect from wall 1, then I can set that size of that wall independent of the first wall. We'll go ahead and change the length of the bar there as well. Get rid of the cabinet that's there. Reposition that wall. Notice you have left clearance and right clearance as you're moving this interior wall. So if you know you have 120 inches along this wall to your peninsula, then we can simply type that in and get it placed precisely. Another new feature added to version 6.2 is the ability to shape the wall. We have built-in shapes for vaulted or cathedral. So if we right click on the wall, click shape wall, we can select that as a cathedral, and we can set the height there. Maybe it bumps up 48 inches in the middle. And now if we look at this in the 3D viewer, we can see the shape of the new wall. We can also change the textures of walls, both front and back, independently. You have a drop-down menu to select, or you can use the graphic selector. So if we click on wall 2, perhaps that's a different type of wall. You can grab a different wall texture for that. Again, look at it in the 3D viewer. Now we can see that wall. Notice it automatically populated the back texture, but it can be set independently. Now let's quickly run through the layout tabs. The room tab is where you set your room properties, decide if you're going to use quick room, draw walls, or import from a laser. The wall tab gives you all the information about each independent wall as you're drawing them and also as you're modifying them. The preset islands are still available. Even though you can now draw any of these manually, you still have the ability to add them. So if you'd like to add an island of a certain size and shape, we can go ahead and add that. And again, move it into place. You also have the ability now to add unlimited T-walls. T-walls are a great tool to replicate obstacles in a room that you may have to build around. So if we add a T-wall here, set the size, there's a small chimney there, so we want to change the texture of the T-wall. Simply click on the textures, go down and find a nice brick texture, and then if we look at that in the 3D viewer, there you have it. The functionality of the tabs are basically the same as they were before. We can add a window. We'll add the window, say, to wall 2. It'll automatically center it. We can resize it, reposition it, bump it into position, center it on the wall in the cabinet space, and so forth. The thumbnail viewer is now a more realistic view of the actual item being placed. So you'll notice as we change to different types of windows, you can see the preview there. We'll add a sink, and we'll add that also to wall 2. Dishwasher can be placed on the sink tab to the left or right of the sink. Perhaps this job has 2 dishwashers. We can add another dishwasher here. And on wall 2, and we'll place that to the right of the sink. Your refrigerator tab, range, hoods, and so forth. This menu is to allow you to quickly design the room. If you need to place more elaborate objects within the room, that's what the product libraries are for. You'll find the appliance library has a much more extensive selection of various appliances than are available on the room tab. So if you want to place just general appliances to get your design done, the room tab's a great place for those. If you want to place really specific detailed appliances, you're best to go to the products tab in the appliance library. We've also removed all the limits, so there's no limit on T-walls, there's no limits on plumbing, there's no limits on outlets. You can add as many of those as you'd like into your design. One last new feature worth mentioning, you have the ability to now change the label of each wall. So wall 1 currently displays the number 1. For whatever reason, maybe we want to change that to a different wall label. We can manually change those. And these numbers will carry forth through to all the different drawings. So hopefully you can see the new added functionality of the room tab. You can pretty much design any type of room shape and wall connection configuration imaginable.